Yo, yo, yo. What up, Raider Nation? Welcome into another episode of the Raider Ragu Show. The Raiders did not get it done against Jacksonville at the house. They lost by 1 in OT. We're going to break it all down. But first, let's get a like, comment, share, subscribe, everything, man, on the YouTube channel. Please put it on auto download wherever you get your podcasts. Let's not forget our sponsor, shebangboutique.com. That's H-E-E bangboutique.com. Go over there and get your girl something unique and fly. Good looking out. So yeah, man, Raider Nation, disappointing season continues. Raiders fall to 2-6. A team that we thought had some promise of actually, making a little bit of noise in the league and competing are obviously not quite there yet. It is time to, man, we going to play who we got, but it's time to see what some of these young guys have, I would say. I know it's week 9. Technically, the Raiders are still in it mathematically, but with 6 losses already, you're looking at pretty much going undefeated for the rest of the season to make the playoffs, and we know that's not going to happen. So let's get into it. All right. First and foremost, what I want to say. Remember I was saying Brock Bowers is coming back, and that's the most important thing. And then I was like, I teased. First I said it's not the most important thing, but it was the most important thing. And he is such the difference maker on this team, man. Shout out to Brock, man. He is a fantastic player in the National Football League and only getting better, which is crazy to say. But it's true. He's getting better. The one-handed catch for the touchdown was crazy.
Smith throws for the end zone. A one-handed grab! Brock Bowers, they're saying no.
And that one where he caught it and accelerated into the end zone was crazy. Didn't nobody...
Using up the clock are the Raiders. Smith throws. What a catch! It's Bowers! Brock Bowers has a Raider touchdown!
Want that smoke. When nobody trying to run up. Yeah, he's sensational, man. So shout out to Brock, man. The Raiders remind me of a golfer, kind of like myself, right? I don't get to just be out on the golf course as much as I would like or as much as I would need to be sweet. In golf, you got to have all 3 phases. You got to have real 4 phases, right? Really going. But just say if you said 3 phases, you got to be able to drive the golf ball. You have to be able to make your approach shots onto the green, right? So you got to be accurate from the fairway. So you need to drive the golf ball in the fairway. That's 1. Then accuracy from the fairway to the green. That's 2. And then you need to be able to put it in, man. That's 3. The Raiders are like a novice golfer like myself. None of the facets are always intact. You know what I'm saying? None of the facets are always going at the same time, right? One day I'll be putting well, driving the golf ball all over the place. Maybe hitting good approach shots, but you hit good approach shots after bad tee shots, sometimes that doesn't make it to the green, if anybody knows about golf. All right? Or, I can't stick a green to save my life. I'm putting pretty good. I'm driving the golf ball well. But irons are off. Keep being, 5, 10, 15 yards off the green. The Raiders are like that as a football team. They cannot get all 3 phases going in one football game to save their lives. And real Raider fans that have watched all the games could not help but agree with me on this, because offense played decently. Defense could have played better, but played decent enough. But our special teams let us down, right? Cash Money Carlson, he could manage to make a 50-yarder, but can't make an extra point. Missed the extra point. If he makes that extra point, we're not even in overtime. We don't even go overtime. We win in regulation. You see what I'm saying? So special teams let us down. You know, special teams, although Mostert was fantastic, special teams did allow the dude to kick a 68-yard field goal without blocking it as well. He kicked that thing real low, man. You mean we didn't have anybody that could jump high enough to block that? Just saying, special teams let us down. You know, in prior games, you know, we had special teams let us down before too. And it's kind of crazy, but I heard somebody say it earlier too. This season, the kicking game has become a weakness of the Raiders, when traditionally it was a strength always. And when you look at the missed extra point this week, the block punt that turned into points against Washington, the run backs of punts and kicks versus Washington that really killed us. The blocked field goal at the end of the Chicago game. You know, the special team / kicking game has just been an overall weakness this season. And it's crazy, man. It continues to happen. You know, we miss an extra point, lose a ball game by 1. That's the bottom line. We missed an extra point and then lost that ball game by 1. Daniel Carlson. Genty is also getting better and better. He's going to be a really good running back in this league. They need to give him the ball. I was looking at Jacksonville. They got Travis Etienne. Travis Etienne had, I think, 22 carries for 84 yards or something like that. Genty only got the ball 13 times. And I'm saying he got drafted higher than Travis. Right? Yeah, 22 rushes for 84 for ETN. Meanwhile, Ashton Genty getting 13 carries for 42. He could have got the same 84 yards if he would have got 22 touches. You know what I'm saying? We're not giving him enough touches. We not run. Forget touches. Touches means catches too. Altogether, you had 18 touches for a touchdown on about 90 yards, 89 yards, which is not a bad day's work. But he can do more, man. He can do more. We need to get him the ball, handing it to him more, running the football, being more creative. That's another thing. Chip Kelly has to get more creative, man. He's got to open up the bag if he has it, man. He's running these same old run plays, and I know the offensive line is not as good as we would like, and you're probably trying to keep it simple. But it was one play where you ran, you know, in the 12 personnel, you ran motion away. You ran motion to the strong side with Trey Tucker, and ran it weak side, like a plunge, right? They call it plunge in Madden. But as soon as Trey Tucker cleared the center before the ball was snapped, Oluokun just pressed that B gap right there. He knew where it was going. You know what I'm saying? That you run to the open side and he stopped for loss, tackle for loss right there. So that's just a wasted play. So two things that got to happen on that. One of two things. Either Chip has got to not call that because he's been running that already and teams have gotten used to it and picked up a tendency. So he's got to bring the motion from the other way to weak and run it, or call it to the other side, to the strong side. Or Geno has got to see that you don't have the numbers. Because football ain't that easy. You could just count. You know what I'm saying? If somebody shading the center, and then you got a 1 or 3 technique, and then you got a 5 or a wide 9, whatever you got out there, then that is one less blocker for, and then you also got an inside backer. When you run it to the open side, all you got is a guard and tackle right there. You run in the motion away. You don't have enough people to block. There's 3 people right there. You only got 2. Or there's 3 people right there. You only got, there's 4 people there. You only got 3 if you want to count the center. It's that simple. Shit. But so Geno, you see that. What am I talking about, Geno? Eugene, you see that. Man, call us. It should be some kind of automatic call. It's pro football, for crying out loud. That the play just flips to the other side, man, without changing nothing. People ain't even got to get out of their stance. They just hear what he say, and we running the same thing, but to the other side. That's all you do. But I'm not seeing little stuff like that, bro. Makes me question everything, like the awareness, football IQ of Geno or Chip Kelly or both. You know what I'm saying? I hate to mention, an old cat, but Richie Gannon would have never ran that play, bro. Richie Gannon calls the play to the other side, or Richie Gannon makes the motion come back that way so they have somebody to block. You didn't waste plays. All right, now we 2nd and long. You see what I'm saying? It's just we not a good team overall. It seems when stuff like that happens, it seems like not well coached either. That's what it is, man. Because, I see it. They should see it. From what I can tell, man, the Raiders are not going to compete this year. And from here on, we need to see some young guys play. I'm not saying quit. Keep playing hard. We need to see some of the younger guys play. And then in these next, 2 drafts, these next 2 off seasons, whether it be free agency or the draft, the Raiders need to concentrate on the trenches. It's O-line and D-line, right? You're going to need interior, O-lineman and D-lineman. We don't know what Charles Grant is going to be yet, but probably need to draft a tackle as well. Miller has only got a couple more years left. He's hurt right now. Glaze, we might can make an improvement there. But overall, we got to get Max some help. We got to get Max some dogs in there in the fight with him, man. And this is no disrespect to Booker and Adam Beasley and Jonah. You guys are cool, but we need a second wave of you guys, right? We need 2 different sets of guys. You guys are all right at 300 or under 300, right? I know Adam was saying, they were saying Adam was 301, and they were saying Jonah was 290. Booker, I believe, might be right at the surface, scratching the surface of 300. But I'm saying we need some 320, 330-pound guys in there, right? So when they start trying to run, it's not there, right? We need, they was running away from Max. So if we had a 3 technique and a decent 1 technique, big stankies, and then with Elandon Roberts and Devin White filling, I think we would have had a lot more success stopping the run, and we will have more success going forward stopping the run against any team. Because reason why I'm saying that about the Jacksonville game, when we needed to stop them, ATN he only ran for 84 yards. They ran for 142 yards total. But it was more of when we needed to stop them, we couldn't. We couldn't. There would be openings. The run fits are just not there. I don't feel like we have the girth. We don't have the size inside, man. We need to work on the trenches. The Raiders are kind of soft. They're kind of a finesse team, if you would, man. They're kind of finessey right now. We need to, with the style of Genty, we need a bruiser of an O-line, and we need to start drafting some bruisers or picking up a couple bruisers in free agency. Immediately. I don't care who's here right now, what young guy is here now. If he's not ready, that doesn't matter. We need somebody to go out there and be bruisers, man, out there. Be like some bullies on the O-line. We need a big, strong, tough O-line. As a sidebar, too, I feel like Genty should take off them high-top cleats, man. I played football, and I had some high-top cleats before versus low. They are restrictive to a fast guy, right? Your ankles are already taped, bro. Yeah, get out of them high tops, man. Get you some low top cleats. Get yourself some low top cleats, man. I'm telling you, you'll be a step faster. Not that you're slow or nothing, but you'll be even a step quicker out there. That's just as a sidebar. But yeah, the Raiders are kind of soft. And we got to fix that, man. We need a big, strong, tough bully of an O-line and D-line before we can call ourselves talking about competing in this AFC, period. That's a QB notwithstanding. We could go get the sweetest Q there is, but we don't have the proper O-line right now for how we're trying to play. Eugene, you have to stop being scared to run, sir. When you see, 1001, 1002, 1003, man, take off, bro. Stop, acting like you're going to take off and then stopping and still trying to throw the ball. Just run, man. Go get the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 yards that is available to you and come back and call another play, man. If you are not going to do that, we might as well put Aiden in. Right? You're Aiden. If you're not going to do that, bro, you're no better than him. So you need to use your mobility, right? And start getting some I was going to say start getting some first downs, but I'm just saying take off. Stop acting like you're going to take off and then still trying to throw, man. Actually run and then get down. You're talking about you're not a good slider, man. Well, work on that shit. You should be working on that. Man, y'all don't have nothing else to do. This is your job. You know what I'm saying? You don't have nothing else to do but get better at that. And it's a health thing for you. It's going to help you not get hurt out there. So you should learn how to slide. You should be working on that, man. That's not a good excuse. Eugene, you have to start pulling that thing down and running, man. The other thing is, don't be afraid to check down. If you would run when you can and check down when you should, the Raiders would be 500 right now. They would have beat the Bears. They would have beat Jacksonville. And they already got New England and Tennessee wins, right? So they would be 4-4, bro. They'd be playing 500 ball if you would have been doing those two things this whole year. I mean, this whole half season. Running when you can and checking down when you should. Stop trying to force shit, man. Just check down. Get it into the hands of your 6th overall pick from this year's draft and let him show why you did pick them that high. Get it into the hands of the veteran, Mostert, who still has acceleration and wheels of steel and will get somewhere, will get you 4, 5, 6, 7 yards, man, on those checkdowns. Now it's 2nd and 3. We can run 2 times and get the first. Right? Or we run 2nd and 6, 2nd and 7, run the check down or run the ball as the quarterback on the next play after everybody drops back. Now we at 1st down, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. And that's how you keep the drives going. That's how you keep possession of the football and stop losing the possession battle and leaving our defense out there to die and have to play all these plays against these NFL offenses, man. You're eventually going to break, right? All offensive players, skilled players in the NFL, talented as hell, or they wouldn't have made the league, right? Then the coaches. These are the best of the best, so they wouldn't have made the league, right? So if you're not maximizing every opportunity you can, man, to move the football, then you're not going to be able to move the football. If you can't move the football, you can't keep the possession of the ball, right? You have to keep punting it, or you're turning it over because you throwing 2-yard outs, 3-yard speed outs into hard flat cover 2 coverage like you did yesterday, Gino. On that, man, okay, if you thought it was a Tampa or a regular 2 or even maybe even a cover 4 and you got fooled, all right, but you got to throw that away, right? You see it. Once you say hike, you see, that corner rolled up. And you threw it anyway. You threw it anyway. They intercepted the ball right there on a 30-yard line and got points out of that. You see what I'm saying? So, in a way, you kind of made us lose, Eugene, by doing that stupid shit. That's another example of, and I hate to keep mentioning my main man, but Richie Gannon would have never thrown that. If Richie Gannon saw that corner roll up pre-snap, he would have checked us out of that. He'd have checked into a run play. Anything but throwing that out right into the strength of that coverage. But what does Eugene do? What is Chip Kelly doing? I know the speaker goes off, so he can't tell Eugene. But they should have already practiced this. They should have already practiced this and know to not waste plays or run plays where you're going to throw the ball right into the strength of the defense. That's coaching. You can't be scared to run, Gino. Otherwise, you're Aiden, and we might as well just play Aiden. You know what I'm saying? Keep it 1,000 with you, man. It's a trip how close games are to being won and lost in the NFL. The dude, kicker, Miller, I believe his name is Cam Miller, he made a 68-yarder right through the center of the uprights. But an extra point and the 1 field goal just barely missed hitting the upright on the left side. He just snuck those shorter kicks in, but he kicked a really far degree of difficulty, one high degree of difficulty kick right down the center. It was crazy. If he would have missed either one of that extra point or that field goal, the Raiders win. But it was not to be, a game of inches. It snuck right in through there, and the Raiders lost. I did mention that Mostert was fantastic. Mostert was fantastic yesterday, man. I'm glad that we are getting him some utilization, some touches, even though it's on kickoff. I know he's probably not 100% cool with that, but we got to get him on the field with that speed. Um, Another young guy that played was Darian Porter, and I really wasn't mad at how he played. I like having the speed out there on the field. He's definitely a speed guy, a tall guy. He was there, right in the mix, man. He was right in the mix. So, and this is his first real. He's been getting action, but he played a lot of snaps against Jacksonville and looked pretty good out there, man. He's gonna be all right. Um, he just got to keep playing so that he can learn the speed of the game and just get better and better every time out. I felt like he played better than Blue Kelly had been playing in his first start. I believe he was playing better than Blue Kelly had been playing. I wouldn't mind trying Blue Kelly at the nickel, as just looking at the personnel and the way that he likes to be physical. Moving him closer to the line of scrimmage, give him some opportunities to make some plays in the backfield, as well as cover the slot. Might work, man. That might work. We go Stokes, Porter, and then him at the nickel. And we switch in, a little Darnay, because Darnay be balling too. And then we need, Blue to play a little outside every now and then if we have an issue out there. But not mad at Stokes, not mad at Porter. In general, though, Patrick Graham's defense is kind of soft. Right? We can't stop people when we need to. I know, 77 plays is a lot of plays. I know the offense needs to help you guys out by staying on the field longer, letting you guys get a breather over there. I understand that. But it's also the National Football League. There's no excuse league. And we have to be better defensively. When we need a stop, we need to be able to get a stop. Period. We need to be able to stop the run when we need to stop the run. And I know guys get tired and all that, but it needs to happen. We've got to get better on defense, and we got to play a little more man, I would say. They just run into the little soft spot of the zone, right? They run right to that deep person in the zone, whether it be cover 3 or 4, and just turn around, man. The quarterback, like Trevor Lawrence, you just drill it right in there because he knows that deep half or third person is basically backpedaling, trying to stay on top. This whole stay on top method that Pete Carroll teaches. I would say, man, get up in their face, make them throw accurate deep balls if they want to go deep, because we in their hip pocket, so it's got to be a perfect ball. And a deep ball, chances of being perfect, the percentage goes down. But those deep turn comebacks and 10, 12, 15 yards and turn around, sit down, those are much easier for the quarterback to drive in there, right? So that's what we're doing. That's what's happening on third down. It's almost like a smart route, right? You know what I'm saying, on Madden, where you make it the route as long as you need it to be. That's what they do. They'll run, like if it's 3rd and 12, they'll go, all right, go run a 12-yard curl right in front of that deep safety right there. And it works every time, bro. It's it looks too easy at times. It's pathetic as a Raider fan sitting there watching the games. We got to play a little man with over the top help. And I know that's dangerous, but we got to rely on Max and the guys to get home on some of these passes. Maybe spy a guy. But the zone, we going to have to. It's just too soft, man. And they know all the holes. They know where to throw it. And, we playing that over the top method, and it's always somewhere to throw the ball. It's always somewhere to throw the ball. And then even when balls are tipped and whatnot, the Raiders aren't making enough plays on the football either. So the turnovers haven't been there. We just got to get better overall. And in the process of still growing and getting better as a team, we need to see what's up with some of these young dudes that we drafted to see if they can play or not, like them old linemen. Put them dudes in there. Put them dudes in there, man. I would say put them dudes in there. Let's see what they got, because we got a good sample size left. We can see what we really got here. Another sidebar, the dude Parker Washington. Remember I told you he's a little dynamic guy. This is the type of guy that will go house on the Raiders, and he had, 8 catches for 90 yards. Like, he was the lead receiver for them. Not Brian Thomas Jr. This guy was, just like I said, right? I was like, this is the type of guy that comes and kills the Raiders. He didn't kill us. He didn't have a bunch of touchdowns or nothing, but he had a bunch of chain movers and big catches at times where we needed to stop him. So, I hate that little part came through, man, but it did. Overall, the Raiders just got to get better. Coming out of the bye week, it was a decent effort. They did keep fighting. I will give them that. They didn't give up. Coming out of the bye week, I was expecting a little bit more. Chip, you got a little bit better over the bye, but you still need some work, sir. You need to figure out that you can't be using these same formations and looks. I know you like to try to marry up everything and have run and pass look the same, but, these guys read keys quickly, and they know, and plus they watch film. So I think you got to come with some different motions and some different formations, right? And then some different throws and whatnot, and some different run plays out of that as well. You got to get up to about 10 more runs for Genty, Chip Kelly. And defense, just like I was saying last week, the coordinators, you guys are, low key on the hot seat, man. And PG, kind of hate to say that about you. Your defense was kind of balling last year at the end. 2 years ago at the end, they were balling. Maybe they'll do the same thing this year, and then we'll forget all about how this is looking right now. Or I'm not 100% certain that Petey ain't got your DBs. He done got in their ear with that stay on top. And the guys are just too far away, man, on third downs, and we're not able to stop anyone. And it's so, so frustrating as a Raider fan, bro. So we got to get better. Got to let some of these young guys play and just get better overall. Better coaching. The players have to give better effort, study more film. Just get better and try to win. We're not doing any type of tanking. That is not a thing in Raider Nation. But yeah, that's where we at, man. Raiders lose a tough one at the house, 30-29 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Also, last thing. Eugene was trying to throw it to Lockett. He was in the back of the end zone. He was open. First of all, he double clutched. But even if he didn't double pump, and that gave the defensive lineman a chance to jump. So if he'd have just threw it right off, it would have took the degree of difficulty would have been a little bit more difficult to get over those defenders that was standing at the goal line back there to Tyler Lockett. One of those dudes could have jumped and either tipped it or intercepted it. So you would have had to have enough touch, but also got it there with enough velo on the ball, enough velocity, where none of those guys could run back there and, hit Lockett before he's able to secure the catch. So the degree of difficulty was tough, or a lot higher on the throw that Geno chose to make down there on the goal line or on the 2-yard line for the 2-point conversion. If you go back and look at it, Jacoby Myers was open right in front of him. He's looking over this way to Lockett. Myers came right underneath Bowers on this side. Bowers did like a corner, I believe. He cut right underneath and was open, man. He had his guy. The guy was on his back hip. He could have just led him a little bit to the center, low. And Jacoby could have caught that and fell right into the end zone, and we would have won the game. But he was too busy looking at Lockett. Then he double pumped. Just, Gino, you got to get better, bro. You got to get better. All right, Raider Nation. Got short week. Got donkey week this week. Game is on Thursday. I'm going to try to preview Wednesday, but if I can't, I'm going to do it Thursday before the game. And that's all I got for you guys, man. Just win, baby. Peace.